Saka under President Mbeki, when he was accused that he's a spy. There was a commission of inquiry. When there was Marikana, the same Jacob Zuma, who's encouraging people because of his hatred for President Ramaphosa, encouraging people to march in vain for nothing, established a commission under Marikana, which decided that reappear as a commissioner of police must actually step aside. President Ramaphosa has done that in the constitutional democracy to investigate, to establish the root cause of this, and when the commission come with its recommendations, the president will be expected to implement. The same Jacob Zuma, who's marching today, established a commission for General Cele. General Cele was removed as a commissioner of police precisely because of allegations that were made, a matter that was overturned by the court, a commission that Zuma established, which was chaired by Judge Mulo. So this is nothing new. And if anyone has got an alternative option, I've heard people saying, we have heard, like all South Africans, that the easy route is for people to be arrested, but you don't arrest people without evidence. This is not a banana republic. Things must be processed, and then once processed under the principles of our jurisprudence that guide us, then on the basis of that, you then charge at individuals, and at the same time the law will then prevail. So there are no shortcuts to this, and this commission has got broad terms of reference to look at the policing in our country and all the allegations and what can be done. After every 3 months, we'll get a preliminary report with specific recommendations, but equally the commission can make recommendation on anyone, on anything, whilst it is in session. That's what is encouraging, and matters now are before the commission, and they will then be processed in that particular context. We support the upholding of the rule of law.
Thank you very much, my sister.
Thank you. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News. Mr. Mbalula, a big vote on the budget appropriation bill coming up in Parliament this week. Are there discussions with your GNU partners to make sure that this doesn't stall? And then related to the Western Cape, this is a troubled province for the party. What have you picked up so far, if you can share perhaps what you have picked up from your engagements over the last 2 days?
Well, we have just started now. Of course, we are here with the sole and purpose not to do the blame game, to look at the state of the organization and strengthen the party. We are not the strongest of parties in the Western Cape. And our preoccupation in terms of this visit is how do we make the ANC a viable alternative and a vibrant opposition in the Western Cape. And we can do that, and we'll do that, working hand in hand with our province here. Yes, of course, in the GNU, every item, like the passing of the budget, is a hurdle, and the engagement will be on with political parties between now and Wednesday in terms of ensuring that we pass the appropriation. And at the same time, we get the budget across. So we will be doing that, exactly that, between now and Wednesday.
You're not leaving it a bit late?
No, we are not late. We are not late. So as of now and today, we are talking to everyone. So that's what is important.
Hi, I'm Theolin Tema from Independent Media. Mr. Mbalula, what do you make of criticism that there's selective application of the step-aside rule when it comes to censorship?
there's no such a thing as selective application of step-aside rule. Step-aside deals with everyone. Once you appear in court, the step-aside rule will apply. You are arrested, step-aside rule will apply. Here in the ANC, when last did you see people supporting each other like Casey and Jojo going to court with ANC t-shirts? Doesn't apply anymore. You get arrested, you stand on your own. Step-aside rule applies. Those who vulgarize things shamelessly will say that no, the step-aside rule doesn't apply to Senzo. President have put Senzo aside with immediate effect. Argue the question of how that has happened, but is aside. We've got an acting minister who's chairing the meeting here, inside. And I've explained to you, and I'm repeating it again, that Senzo will not step aside in relation to the ANC as an elected member. And he's got an opportunity now, in terms of the Audi principle, to also state the side of the story, of his story. Now, once we listen to that, it is also evaluated in terms of facts by a competent, independent judge and a panel, judicial commission, like the president have appointed. Then we can pass judgment. Let's allow the process to follow. This is what all South Africans look forward to, and then even ourselves, we're looking forward to that. So the principles of our jurisprudence allow that somebody's story must also be listened to. And if there's any wrongdoing on him and all of that, the ANC, in terms of its renewal process, things kick in. There are many ANC leaders and members who are on a step aside, who have appeared in courts, who have been arrested. We are the only party in South Africa that practices things even beyond the jurisprudence. Even Magashule failed to challenge the step-aside rule. It was affirmed by the Constitutional Court that there is nothing unconstitutional about the step-aside rule because it is entrenched in the ANC constitution itself. So there is nothing like selective justice and at the same time selective application of the rule of step aside on ANC members. There is nothing like that. If you are arrested, you appear before the courts. Even before you appear before the courts, once you are arrested, you step aside. So there are many members of the ANC who have actually been affected by this rule. Nobody else. All political parties in this country, you get arrested, you still stay on as a member. They only apply presumption of innocence. They don't apply other rules. The ANC, presumption of innocence, but over and above that, in terms of our constitution, we implement the step-aside rule for members of the ANC who are facing challenges of being chased by law enforcement.
ENCA?
From ENCA. In Poland yesterday, your president was there. Some of the issues that were raised by the branches and the region are long-standing in terms of rebuilding the party in the Western Cape. Why is it difficult to get this task off the ground? And if the reports you are getting across all 6 regions are that you need to intervene, would you do that as the ANC?
We are here for that. Reports are being presented inside now as I'm speaking to you. Tomorrow we will meet and process decisions of what must happen in terms of the reports that come from the regions. We will. There are a number of things which I don't want to. We will give you a feedback about the outcome of that NWC and the interventions we're going to make in the Eastern Cape. So there is definitely going to be action on issues that are raised to strengthen the African National Congress in the Western Cape.
quick question.
Very last one.
Sophie would like to know if the meetings of the former liberation movements will continue.
The former liberation movement week is this coming week, and it's a big weekend. All the former liberation movements will be here. As you know that we are chairing the former liberation movements as the ANC. All presidents of MPLA, SWAPO, Chama Chama Pendus, ZANU-PF, African National Congress, Frelimo will be here. And the Secretary Generals will also be here, followed by the party leagues will all be here, and then to chart the way forward. So this coming weekend, i-weekend enkulu ke le kuthi singumbutho wesizwe olwela inguqu nedaba eMzantsi Afrika. So all liberation movements, not former, liberation movements will be here in Southern Africa. And also there will be other sister parties all over Africa, Algeria and so on, will be here to attend the former liberation movement political summit. Thank you very much.
So this goes ahead. Thank you very much, SG.
En
Colleagues.
Ik wil graag zeggen voor jou, ik praat zeven Afrikaans.
Things just got a little more interesting in the Western Cape. No, it's not another DA billboard or a new wine festival. This time, it's the ANC rolling deep. The National Working Committee, led by none other than Cyril Ramaphosa himself, has landed in the province, and they're not there for the view of Table Mountain. Nope, they're on a mission to assess the state of the ANC in what's traditionally been one of the party's toughest battlegrounds. Now, let's be honest. When you think of ANC strongholds, the Western Cape is probably not the first name that comes to mind. It's like trying to find a springbok in Antarctica. Technically possible, but you'd have better luck elsewhere. The DA has run this province for over a decade, and the ANC has been playing political catch-up with a limp ever since. But with this visit, the ANC is trying to send a signal. It's not down and out, it's just regrouping. The National Working Committee is the ANC's inner circle. Think of them as the Avengers, if the Avengers were more into policy reviews and fewer explosions. Their job: take the temperature of the province, understand the challenges on the ground, and figure out whether the Western Cape ANC structures are still breathing, politically speaking. President Ramaphosa isn't exactly known for dramatic political gestures, so the fact that he's personally leading this visit tells you it's serious. There's a lot on the line. The ANC's support in the province has been sliding for years. Factional battles, lack of visibility, poor community engagement, you name it. The party in the Western Cape has more cracks than an old pavement in Mitchell's Plain. But the ANC doesn't want to give up on the Western Cape just yet. There's potential here: young voters, disillusioned communities, and growing frustrations with service delivery could all be turned into political capital, if the ANC can get its act together. That's a big if. Right now, the NWC is doing a full audit. They're meeting with regional leaders, branch members, and anyone who still remembers where the ANC office keys are kept. Now don't get it twisted. This isn't just about numbers and paperwork. It's also about rebuilding trust. The ANC wants to be seen again, not just on posters during elections, but in communities every day. But that's going to take more than speeches and selfies with comrades. It's going to take action, unity, and some serious internal cleaning up. Let's also not ignore the elephant in the room: coalitions. The ANC knows that in the Western Cape, winning outright might be a fantasy. But building strategic partnerships, gaining ground in metros, and reshaping its image could make it a force to be reckoned with in coalition politics. And in 2025, that might be the name of the game. Of course, not everyone's convinced. Some political analysts say this is just window dressing, a symbolic visit to show the party is doing something. Others argue that Ramaphosa is trying to show he still has control and relevance, especially after a shaky national election. But whether it's a PR exercise or a genuine push to revive the ANC in the province, one thing is clear: the party is paying attention to the Western Cape again. So what happens next? Well, That depends on what the NWC finds. If they walk away with real insight and commit to actual reforms, we might see a revitalized ANC presence in the province. But if it's just more rhetoric and no results, the Western Cape will likely remain a tough nut to crack. One thing's for sure though, Ramaphosa showing up in person means the ANC is at least trying to turn the page. The question is, will the province read it, or will it stay in the DA's library? Stay tuned. South Africa. Politics in the Western Cape just got spicy.